take.
It's already shaping up to be a pretty exciting 2026, and I hope that you'll stay with us all throughout it. Welcome in. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop, editor of the Center Square at Illinois. Just go to thecentersquare.com. You'll be able to sign up for the newsletter, get the latest in your inbox, and stay plugged into what's going on. Tons for us to tackle this January 5th after President Donald Trump announced early in the morning hours over the weekend that he had taken kinetic military action against the dictator of Venezuela. And that individual is back in the United States facing charges. A lot of reaction from that activity. But also the president continuing to take aim at the possibility of fraud within the daycare systems across the country, including possibly here in Illinois with moves to withhold those funding dollars. We'll touch on that as well, but we've got tons to tackle, including talking with the Center Square's investigative team about ongoing uncovering of tax dollars being used for diversity programs, but are those diversity programs actually doing what needs to be done? We'll be discussing that with Jared Strong here with the Center Square. So stay tuned. That's on the way here with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Let's get right to it with President Donald Trump making that announcement about action in Venezuela over the weekend, and tons of reaction pouring in from all kinds of Illinois elected officials. Stay tuned.
But we're the ones that brought the crime down. We brought it down 20%. They didn't bring it down. Pritzker didn't bring it down. Same thing with Gavin Newsom. If we didn't go in to Los Angeles 7 months ago when they had the riots, even the police commission, the head of police, said if we didn't have the federal government go in, we would have lost total control.
It's President Donald Trump just about 10 hours ago in front of members of the media on Air Force One, gaggling about the action in Venezuela, but as he did when he made the official announcement in front of a podium, he injected the conversation about public safety and in places like Chicago as part of this overall conversation. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning. So over the weekend, people woke up to this with President Donald Trump holding a news conference announcing actions against Venezuela's president.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones, like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
And the president went on to discuss what's next. He took a ton of questions, a lot of controversy about statements he said that the U.S. is going to be running Venezuela and what's possibly going to happen with Cuba, what's possibly going to happen with Colombia, these countries in our hemisphere. We'll hear a little bit more about some of that, but let's take a look at some of the reaction that came in over the weekend, including from Governor J.B. Pritzker, who a lot of people believe that he's eyeing a bid for the White House in 2028. But the governor is also here in Illinois looking for a third term as governor of Illinois. But he says Donald Trump's unconstitutional military action in Venezuela is putting our troops in harm's way with no long-term strategy. He says the American people deserve a president focused on making their lives more affordable, and goes on from there. Let's see what others had to say in the ongoing back and forth over what kinds of activities are going to be forthcoming with the president's announcement, what happened in Venezuela. You've got Governor J.B. Pritzker again saying never has a president wagged a dog harder than Trump and MAGA now. The distract from Epstein, the explosion of health and homeowners insurance costs, and the tariffs that are decimating small businesses. Trump is plunging this country into a war and using our soldiers as pawns. Further see other reaction. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson posting on social media the Trump military action in Venezuela violates international law and dangerously escalates the possibility of full-scale war. The illegal actions by the Trump administration have nothing to do with defending the Venezuelan people. They are solely about oil and power, he says. Continues on with his statement saying he stands by Venezuelans and says in Chicago, we will continue to uphold the values of peace, diplomacy, and mutual respect for all people. As you see, obviously this is a partisan issue that continues to divide whether or not you've got the Republicans on one side and the Democrats on the other. Republican Congresswoman Mary Miller highlighting pictures of celebrations from around the globe that Miller says when wicked tyrants fall, the world celebrates. Democrats, once again, choose the wrong side of history. More being shared by Miller. She shared the Department of Homeland Security's X account posting saying, oh, so now Democrats are opposed to a Venezuelan criminal entering our country. And you can see that here. Again, from the DHS X page, Mary Miller, Republican Congresswoman running for re-election, posting as well. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin says Nicolas Maduro repeatedly denied the will of the Venezuelan people, including two-thirds of them voted for an end to the decades of political and economic ruin and criminality. However, Durbin says, I disagree with President Trump's use of military force without congressional approval and worry deeply about this administration's follow-through of foreign policy interventions. The Trump administration must provide briefings for all members of Congress as soon as possible and as soon as this week. So the ongoing question of Congress, are they going to be brought into this? There was a vote for some kind of authorization or oversight, but that did not pass. You've got more members of Congress chiming in here. Representative Jonathan Jackson saying that the overnight military strike over the weekend is an abdication of sitting head of state, represents a dark day of international law and reckless departure from democratic norms. The capture of Maduro by U.S. forces is a flagrant violation of national sovereignty and the principles of non-intervention that underpin the global order. So Trump being asked a ton of questions about all of this, especially on the Air Force One. And let's hear about his thoughts on the word kidnap being used.
The question is the American troops, are they going to be on the ground? They're doing any kind of peacekeeping? I think Americans are very...
It depends on what happens. It depends a little bit on the new administration, if you want to call it.
So if you see that pushback from Rodriguez and ultimately...
Well, I don't think there was pushback. I think that...
She
frankly,
called it...
you hear a different person than I hear.
Really? So you have spoken with her?
We talked to them, yeah.
Oh, you did speak with her?
They've been very good.
Because she called it kidnapping of Maduro.
It's all right. It's not a bad term.
It's all right. It's not a bad term, he says. He's also asked about whether or not he is now looking at nation building, something he had criticized in the past.
What led to that? The end is the U.S. nation building now. Is that...
This isn't a country that's on the other side of the world. This isn't a country like we have to travel 24 hours in an airplane. This is Venezuela. It's in our area. The Don Road Doctrine.
So is that what you would say, that we're in the business?
And he says the Don Roe Doctrine, similar to the Monroe Doctrine, just focusing on the Western Hemisphere and how it really is all about national security, he says. But he also acknowledges that this is about securing a variety of other things like natural resources, including minerals.
Now President Trump is going to fix it and bring it back
For Venezuela.
but it's not easy.
Oh,
It's
no.
really gone bad, but it's got potential. What?
Maybe any rare earth minerals?
They have rare earth, but everybody has rare earth.
What's
Rare earth is not rare. What's rare is the processing.
We got
We're
almost
doing
all of it.
processing plants all over. That's right. There's no such thing as rare earth. The rare earth is everywhere. What isn't everywhere is the processing of rare earth, and we have a lot of places going up right now.
Now, questions about what may be next. Obviously, Venezuela, a focus. The president was asked about Colombia, saying that Colombia also is sending in narcotics into the United States. But what about Cuba?
Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out.
Was there a final
But
straw?
Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count. And Cuba looks like it's going down. What do you think, Howard?
It's going down.
They want to work in Cuba, but Cuba's going down for the count.
What that looks like, especially it being just 90 miles off the coast of Florida, and how the actions in Venezuela over the weekend are going to continue to ripple, and the ongoing pushback. Again, we can go through all of the various Congress people from Illinois with what they had to say, and it's very much down the line, partisan, at least from the members of Congress. But clearly this is something that is going to be debated even within the president's very own party as to what the role of the U.S. is in the internal operations of other countries. And, of course, the taxpayer toll as paying for those types of military incursions. All right, it is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. With us each and every weekday morning. Go to thecentersquare.com where you can sign up for the latest headlines in your inbox. But, of course, you can wake up with us here each and every weekday morning with Illinois in Focus Daily. Happy 2026. It's definitely starting off with a bang. A lot of tax dollars being used on diversity preferred programs in Illinois, but is it actually resulting in any movement towards having more diversified economic outcomes? Lots of question that is being delved into by the investigative team at the Center Square. I'm Greg Bishop, editor of Illinois at thecentersquare.com. You can wake up and get headlines in your inbox. Just go to the website, get the newsletter, but you can also wake up with us here for Illinois in Focus Daily each and every weekday morning. And not too long ago, we talked with Jared Strong, one of the members of the investigative team with the Center Square, about his ongoing deep dive into getting FOIA documents and talking with business owners across the state that are impacted by these types of things, and what it means when tax dollars are being used for diversity type of programs. So, Jared, thanks for taking time with us this morning. People can find your story published before the new year. White business owners our biggest share of Illinois' diversity preferred contract group. Jared, from everything that I've been watching and looking at over the years of this ongoing conversation, that seems to be kind of antithetical to what some of the actual purposes were for having these types of programs in place. What's going on here?
Yeah, well, I mean, the preference for this group is businesses that are owned by minorities, women, and people who are disabled. So historically, it was Black business owners who have comprised the largest racial group of those folks, and now it's white people, it's white women. So the issue that we have is that Illinois state lawmakers created about 4 years ago, and also devoted $7 million a year to this cause, this commission that is supposed to help the state meet a goal of spending at least 30% of its contract dollars with those groups that I mentioned before, with those businesses that I mentioned before. So one of the commission's first initiatives was to install a new computer system to register those businesses and to help them get state contracts. It was supposed to streamline the process, but instead it's led to this calamitous drop. The number of businesses who have been certified for diversity preference by the state of Illinois has dropped from a high of about 5,400 to 2,800 as of December, and it's just been this massive decline that's tapered some, but it's still happening. That's happened over the past year and a half since this new computer system was installed.
Jared, that's a long time for a computer system to be in place without really showing too many results. If I had a program myself that I was trying to work with and it wasn't giving me these types of results in pretty short order, don't you think that there should be some, I don't know, I would probably contact the manufacturer and be like, hey guys, this is just not working out. Can I get a refund or something along those lines? Has there been any recognition from what you've been able to gather in your investigation as to what the response has been to these kind of abysmal numbers?
Well, the commission and its staff will not talk to me. I've made I don't know how many requests for interviews and comment by email, in the past several months, and they will not say anything publicly about it. They don't really talk about it in meetings. I mean, they acknowledge that this problem has existed for a very long time, and that they have been kind of banging their heads against the wall trying to get it to work right. I mean, the issue is that the new computer system doesn't talk with existing computer systems at other state agencies that do these certifications. And since most of the state certifications were the result of these businesses being certified by other agencies, that's what's led to this huge drop. So the commission is basically indicating that they're going to keep trudging forward with this new system. They've got a plan to call all of the businesses that were previously certified and are no longer certified, sort of this manual outreach to everyone to try to boost those numbers again. But no, they have not said that they would, perhaps drop the new provider, even though, when they sent out requests for proposals to businesses for a new system, being able, having your system be able to talk to the other systems was a requirement of that contract process. And so, I mean, I'm not a legal expert, but it appears that they could probably just terminate their contract with this provider if they wanted to.
We're talking with Jared Strong, part of the investigative team at the Center Square, and they obviously are looking at this issue here in Illinois. Where else have you seen this as a problem in other states across the country?
Well, there are other initiatives like the one in Illinois. For a long time, Illinois had a goal of getting 20% of the state's contract money to these businesses. When they created the commission, they upped it to 30%. There are a number of other states that have similar goals, but they haven't gone to the extent of really upping how much money they're spending each year to try to make it happen. Illinois has had a council that has overseen these efforts for a very long time. And yet lawmakers still, like I said, 4 years ago, created this new commission, a 7-person commission. Each person's appointed by the governor. They're highly paid. They're each making about $150,000 a year. And it's not really stipulated in the statute that this has to be their full-time job. They can hold other jobs based on my reading of the law. And that's what makes Illinois stand out. They've spent this money, the $7 million a year. They're paying almost $1 million or about $1 million a year just for these commissioners who have a staff of 30 people. And instead of seeing progress, they've seen this tremendous backslide away from the goals that they're trying to reach.
Jared, it's pretty incredible stuff. Obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on this as you develop more and request more information from these state agencies. Not to ask you to reveal all your trade secrets, but what else are you working on out there? Not just in Illinois, but across the country.
We are making constantly tons of records requests. I mean, just related to the commission that we've been talking about. I'm starting to receive a trickle of emails that should reveal some of the behind the scenes talk about, the computer problems that we have. But, fraud in Minnesota is a really big deal right now. I think everybody is very familiar with it. This has become sort of an all hands issue for our news organizations. So everybody is doing their part. It's not it's not any one person's 100% focus. But we're trying to look into the situation there to uncover more fraud and help expose all the issues that are going on in the state, which appear to be voluminous right now.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable, especially as the White House continues its focus on not just Minnesota, but he said even California and New York and here in Illinois. And just to share with you, I do have a pending FOIA request from the Department of Human Services in the state of Illinois for any of the past fraud findings that they may have had with the child care system here in the state of Illinois. So I might have to tag you in that and have you pour through all of this trickle of documents, as you say, because Jared, if you could just also share this is a long process. Investigative reporting by using public records laws to force these taxpayer-funded employees to turn over their public information. It can take a long, long time.
Yes, it can take a long time. It can be expensive. I mean, there's numerous ways that public officials can throw up roadblocks to getting records. And, like in the case of the commission that we've been discussing, I have to turn to the records because they won't actually talk to me. So in a lot of cases, these records requests are so vitally important to our work because we're not going to get the information anywhere else. So yes, it can. State statutes don't often say you must, hand out this requested information within 10 days. It can take months. I'm getting, information now that I requested, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So it's a waiting game, and it's on us to be persistent, to make sure we're getting the information no matter how long it takes or how much we have to fight for it, because otherwise it's too easy to let things slip through the cracks and not expose what's going on.
No question. Jared, greatly appreciate it. We'll definitely be talking again in the near future on this and plenty of other issues, all right?
Have a great Monday, Greg.
You
Thanks.
too. It is Illinois in Focus Daily, each and every weekday morning here with you as you can wake up and get the headlines in your inbox. And also, get the podcast where you get podcasts and get the info where you need to get it with social media. It's right here with The Center Square. So wake up with us each and every weekday morning with thecentersquare.com. right, it is Monday. We've got plenty of stuff to cover for the rest of the day. Of course, more about what's going to happen with the child care fraud investigation in other states, seeming to require a deep dive into our state and how it's being impacted, especially with President Donald Trump saying that Illinois is worse than Minnesota when it comes to the child care fraud. But what exactly does that picture look like? We don't know yet. As I shared with you, we're still waiting a FOIA response from late last week requesting that information for fraud cases that have been founded in the state of Illinois with the child care system, but also just overall looking at the overall spending of child care fraud or child care in general with the prospect of fraud. Of course, any fraud is not something that people want, but how large and expansive may it be, or is it isolated and very narrow? These are the types of questions that we definitely want to get after. So be sure to support us here at the Center Square. Go to thecentersquare.com, wake up with us, get the podcast where you get podcasts, and get the newsletter in your inbox at thecentersquare.com. Have a great Monday. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. All right, right here with the Center Square and Illinois in Focus Daily.